Okay, here we are. We are going to play the Wargrove of Woe. The goal of this campaign is to win a short campaign victory, basically as quickly as possible. And in this first episode, we are going to storm the Oak of Ages to get that started. Let's go. So we're now in the campaign. The first thing we're going to look for is an ancient tree man of life. We are looking for Murder of Spites. We don't have it here, so we are going to reload. Okay, so we finally got this Murder of Spites tree man, and what we're going to do is we are going to replace Drycha. Sorry, Drycha, you don't really bring us anything. We'll go in here, look for that Murder of Spites dude. What's funny is you can actually get regular tree men. I don't know why, but you can get regular tree men this way. We're just going to go for our malevolent dude. He's a bit better, I think. And we're also going to disband everybody except for our tree man. Keep him. We'll give him the aspect of the oak. The extra missile resistance is excellent. The armor's pretty good. We will check this dude. He's determined. So he doesn't really give us anything. Disband him too. And we are now going to attack these Skaven. And we obviously have to fight it manually or we will lose terribly. So the plan here is basically to stick to the forest. The forest will give us melee defense and it'll also give us more winds of magic. AI is just going to sit and wait for us to make the first move. So we'll just hang out for a while and let them pull in all their reinforcements and then go to the forest over here that is closer to them. So the plan is to have our Lord hang back a bit and our tree man up at the front. Our tree man can tank a lot and our Lord can give him the leadership he needs not to run off the battlefield. So we're just going to keep him up front a bit and then when he needs help, the Lord will come in to help. And we can start the battle off by doing a magic attack on the unit that's most dangerous to us, which is going to be the Night Runners. Sometimes it takes a couple hits for them to actually run after us, so we'll just hang out a bit. And here they come. So our Lord has been discovered. That's when we send him in to fight in melee too. His Murder of Spites is going to start damaging literally everybody within a pretty good radius of him. We can pull the tree man a little bit closer to him. The thing you really have to be careful of is make sure that your Lord is in good shape and has strong leadership. If the tree man goes, it sucks, but you can make it through. The Lord is really where the power comes from here. And we won. Pretty easy. We're going to try to heal as much as possible, but you can't get a lot since they run off the map so fast. Part of the reason we disbanded everybody was to try to get these heroic victories, which give you more experience than other victory types. And with such a small force, you're going to get them really easily, and our Lord is going to level up super fast. Here, I think we can just take money. There are no downsides. Money is good. Got some money, got some experience. That army is deleted. And one thing I actually forgot to do was to put this guy in this office. It would have given us even more winds of magic and recharge. As you can tell, it wasn't even necessary, but it really helps for this lord. Gonna level him up. We are gonna rush towards Quartermaster and Home Amongst the Bows. We just really need that upkeep reduction. Now we can assault the city. We can actually auto-resolve this. If you're on Legendary, you probably want to make sure that you fight it manually, but if you're not, it's pretty safe to auto-resolve. Now we got a decisive victory that's also a high XP victory. Already rank 3. We're just going to sack so we can retain our movement. We are going to level this guy up with Growth of the Forest. And we're actually going to force march back to the edge of Griffinwood. It's pretty safe. These guys can't make it to hit you here, and we just wiped out the Skaven forces. So we're going to get some healing. We're going to get some extra growth in Griffinwood. It's just good all around. In Griffinwood, we are going to delete this building. We need the money from it. We are going to start with the growth building, the Trapper's Den. In terms of research, we are going to get Wisdom of the Poplar. We need that growth, and the recruitment duration is really good. And that's it. We're not going to spend money on this yet because we need to level up Griffinwood to level 3, which we will get very, very quickly. So this is one of the events that'll happen in Drycha's campaign. This is only turn 2, so we actually want to make sure that we get crippled military. We're not going to recruit anything for, I think it's exactly 10 turns anyway, so we're going to save our infrastructure. We need the growth. This guy can now sack Mordheim again. Easy auto-resolve if you feel like it. Again, if you're doing something like Legendary, it's probably better to do it manually, but I'm lazy. Sack again. And go back to Griffinwood. This time we're going to go farther up to the left because we're going to get the forest encounter next turn. We're still not going to build anything new because we need to save up for level 3. And the only thing that we'll spend money on is money or growth buildings. Now we can just start the regular research tree. As expected, we have this forest encounter right over here. What's nice about it is it's going to be an ambush. This is one of the worst ones you can get. Sometimes you're lucky and it's something that you can kind of farm, but I haven't discovered a good way to deal with the great cannons. They're anti-large with armor-piercing missiles. We just can't really handle that. For some reason, we have a lot of power here because of the ambush, I guess, so it's safest to auto-resolve. It's gonna do a lot of damage, but it's what we gotta do. So this is probably the most dangerous time. We are just going to regular march into the Griffin Wood. We're gonna need a turn to heal in the city. So turn 4, we're just gonna go hang out in the city for some replenishment. We can build the grapevines. We don't really need just that extra 5 growth right now. That's not that much, and the money's pretty important. So we'll spend on that, and then we'll go here to get a bit more growth and a bit more money. Okay, so we've healed quite a bit. What we're actually going to do is we're going to stand on the edge of Griffinwood so that we can get a bit more healing. We actually kind of want the Skaven to attack us so that we can get some more experience on him. If we really want to bait him, we can actually go into March stance. They're more likely to attack us that way. Obviously, that's risky if you're doing like legendary. But they'll think that they can win even with these clan rats. So they're just going to attack with one army at a time. So you're really quite safe. So let's see if these guys take the bait. Aha, they did. So we definitely don't want to auto-resolve this. They get a lot of bonuses for hitting us with an ambush, but we're totally fine here. So we're just going to fight it manually. And there's a lot of forest. So we just do the same thing. Go hide in one of those forests. As long as you keep pushing through, they're going to keep walking. And for the most part, we're going to try to save our magic for healing. Plus, they're not super clumped up right now, so this is a more efficient use. And there it is. Victory is in our grasp. So we're just going to try to heal as much as possible. I'm personally a fan of Wonders of the Forest, but you just need the 2 so that you can keep going up to Quartermaster and stuff. We will attack Morlock and do basically the same thing we've been doing. This one is obviously less safe to auto-resolve. Actually, you get more experience from fighting it because you'll get at least 2 battles out of it. One thing that's different about this battle is that they've gotten their Menace Belows by now, so we end up doing damage to them before we've gotten close to them. So as long as you are visible, they'll send Menace Belows at you, and then they'll come attack you. And there we go, another heroic victory. Lots of XP, some money. That army's dead. This one's fairly injured. This guy's getting pretty lucky. Like with the Helm of Discord, it's really nice, but it's not like, wow, I'm getting so lucky and I wouldn't be able to do this without these items. No, this is just a bonus. With how injured we are, we definitely want to fight this manually. It's really easy, but we just have to. And it looks like we can just squeeze back into the Griffinwood for that extra growth this turn. And let's see what kind of life guys we have. Murder of Spites was good for our Lord, but we're going to look for Resplendence of the Luminescence. We want this, but on a life wizard. And research. We're not too worried about forest health right now, so we want to go for money. We're going to go up this way. So we still have our movement debuff here, which is pretty annoying, which means we can't really sack and come back. So what we're going to do is just march into Griffinwood and hang out there for at least this turn. If you get this Ecocide event, I think the only choice is make fertilizer out of them. The growth is just so key, and this is just not helpful. So make fertilizer of them. Let's see if our movement is back. It's not. We could force march out to here again, try to bait these guys out, at least get some experience going. Hopefully they'll attack us over the end turn. And we got them. Nice. And another quote-unquote close victory. So we've gotten another Whisper in the Woods. This one has to do with vampires, so we're not even going to worry about it. We're just going to ignore it for now. We'll now get the Craftsman's Tree. I think the guard platform makes sense. And we're making enough money. I think it's time to recruit and disband these. Okay, he can move now. Now we're going to get Quartermaster. Especially since we see a big army next to us, we want to make sure that we fight this manually so that we take as little damage as possible. It's the same as it's been, so this isn't going to be a challenge. It's just annoying. You can Lightning Strike for the leadership debuff. We have a couple choices here now. We definitely want to sack. We could attack these guys, but that's going to be really tough and we're not going to be able to go home. I think what we're going to do is go back to Griffinwood, let that grow a bit, let the Skaven guy get some more forces, and then we'll just keep sacking them. So at this point, what we're going to do with our growth is we're going to wait until we can upgrade the Hunting Lodge, and then the Sculptor's Cavern, and then the Vineyard. We will just go back to sacking these poor Skaven. This follower is probably the best follower. You want to make sure it's on all of your heroes. Finish the turn back in Griffinwood. Check if we got the hero we wanted. We didn't. Cluster of Radiance is pretty good too. I prefer Resplendence, so we'll wait for that. We got this event, which seems to be pretty standard across the Drycha campaigns. We definitely want Bark Souls. We're going to want that recruitment cost discount on the Treemen when we're ready to recruit them. We can see here that Talabecland took our Sac City. So we're definitely going to want to try to be friends with them. They should be pretty happy with us. We can at least get a non-aggression pact soon, hopefully. One thing I like to do here is see if the vampires will join my war against Ostermark to weaken them so I don't have to venture out too far. Let's see if they'll take it. Not quite, but we still have that forest encounter. I think that's going to be a net good for us because we don't want to fight the vampires yet. We're not really ready for that, so we're going to spare them. We get a little bit less growth, but we've been sitting in our settlement for that growth for a long time, so we've kind of prepared for this. And I think we can safely force march back to Griffinwood. What that's going to mean is growth over the end turn, and Ostermark might attack us with this army and potentially another one, but we'll be in home turf. Looks like we should get reinforcements if they attack us. It's right on the edge there. Hopefully we get it. I think we'll be okay there. Turn 12, Cleopus is destroyed, so we have nobody else to beat up on right now. We could look at Ostermark, but Essen is going to be really tough. We could do it, but that's quite a lot of cheese and it's pretty dangerous, so I'm not going to do it right now. What I am going to do is try to bait them, just like I did with Cleopus. I'm going to move a little bit closer to the edge here. In force march, they're going to think they're a lot stronger than us, and they're probably only going to send one army. Even if they take two, they don't have a ton of armor. If we hide in the forest, we'll be okay. And we are going to continue looking at money and movement range. So we're going to go here up to grapevines. As expected, we did bait them into attacking us. This doesn't really look like a safe auto-resolve, so I'm going to fight it by hand. But it's the same stuff. Hide in the forest, and they're attacking us, so they're going to come looking for us. It's no big deal. None of this is going to do that much damage to us. Okay, so we did win. We took a lot of damage, but we're in home turf, so we will heal a bit. Turn 13. We are level 12. We finally have all of Quartermaster, which will really help. Only 2 levels until we get home amongst the boughs. We can finally build up our treatment building, so now we'll have 3 turns and we'll get our Doom stack. We are going to continue pushing for growth. We're going to wait a turn to see if we get the branch wraith we want. Let's see if we can get non-aggression with our neighbors. Not quite.
The Empire. Deliver your missive
We've
and
done
get from my
significant
presence.
damage to Ostermark, but not quite enough to make them want peace. So, since it's not really safe to attack Ostermark right now, we're gonna go sit in Griffinwood for a turn. Heal up a bit. We're not ready to upgrade this yet. We want to save some of that money. Plus, we don't really need anything above 3. I don't think we want to do force march because they do have quite a lot of force, and this one will be at full strength. What we could do is ambush, and maybe they'll feel a bit safer about moving their troops out in the open. Here we got it, Resplendence of Luminescence. We're definitely going to take that right now. It's going to give us a little bit more growth too, which is nice. And I built the Glade Captain building. So unfortunately, Ostermark didn't leave an army out for us to gobble up. which is fine. We're just gonna hang out here in ambush stance and hopefully they will decide to move soon. Next turn we want to be recruiting, so we can't really go too far anyway. And luckily we got another Resplendence of Luminescence, so we'll grab him too. So this turn, Sylvania declared on Ostermark, which is really good for us. It means that they have a big enemy to fight, and when Sylvania comes and wipes out one of their armies, they're going to want peace with us. Plus, it's time for us to start recruiting. So we're just going to sit here and recruit for a while. We're going to build up strength, and when Ostermark sees how strong we are and that they're at war with Sylvania, they'll want peace. So we're going to go to 18 because our plan is to put in another branch wraith and a glade captain. And it's nice because it works out to the perfect amount, and it'll just be 5 turns before we move on. It's a tough choice here between Disciplined and Ariel's Chosen. I think either is fine for what we're going for. I think Ariel's Chosen might be a bit better because at the end of the day, with a big stack of treemen, leadership isn't really going to be a problem. It's been a problem because we only have 2 units going against 20, but it's not a problem beyond that. Ariel's Chosen, we're going to get a little bit Winds of Magic, a little bit more Winds of Magic, which is good. Extra melee attack in forest battles, which, because we're mostly going to be fighting in the forests, that's what we want. Turn 17, we get this quest to confederate Durathu, which is wonderful. We're not going to worry about it till a bit later, but it's good to know that we have it now.
Glade Captain, no rest.
And we're still just sitting here. We're building up strength really fast. We're still going to save up our money a bit. We do want to get the aspect of the oak on all of our treemen. That's where a lot of their power comes from. If we can't afford it right away, I think that's okay. But we definitely want it by the time we go for the Wood Elves because they are going to have a lot of missiles. If we look here now, Ostermark has been hit really hard by the vampires, so they want peace. We're going to get peace, and we can actually get a defensive alliance here, which I like because we're going to start building up forest health a bit, and the vampires are already at war with them, so that means that they're not going to declare on us separately. The vampires are going to have enough to worry about for a little while, so I'm feeling pretty safe with this if we can score this.
Of course.
Which we did.
All right.
And we just want to get non-aggression with all of these guys
Greetings on behalf
if
of
we
the
can,
Empire.
and
Now, what
take some
brings
money
you here with a sheep
too
blade?
if possible. Alright, so all of our neighbors
What?
we have non-aggression with, including the vampires, so we're feeling pretty safe now. If we take a look, we're now going to be gaining 3 forest health every turn without even doing anything. And we should be safe from any war declarations for a little while. Turn 18, we're now researching more money from grapevine buildings, which is good. Chaos isn't really going to be a problem for us. We can now upgrade one of these. I think at this point it's more efficient to upgrade this because this will give us bonus growth and also 100 more income versus this one, which only gives us 100 more income. The reason I did this before this at the beginning was it gave us 600 income. It's a small thing, but I think it makes a big difference doing it in this order. And if we check, 3 turns until we are ready to go. We're still making good money and we are at above half stack, so looking pretty good. Turn 19, we're still just sitting here waiting for our recruitment, but it's looking pretty good. So we have 1,400. Each of these guys costs about 200, and we're only recruiting 6 more, which means we're going to be able to afford them. We'll make a little bit each turn, even with this full stack of basically tier 5 units. So we're looking really good. Our neighbors shouldn't be a problem. We got a notification that the Brayherds are coming, but they've got a lot to worry about. Okay, turn 20. We are well on our way to having a good doom stack, and we have no enemies right now. We are getting some forest health every turn. We're looking pretty good. I'm going to call this a 20 turn guide. Technically it'll be 21, I guess, but this is a good spot to be in by turn 20. Turn 21, the Dreaming Wood. I don't know if that's worth it on the higher difficulties, because you're going to get quite a bit of chaos corruption here, and the public order is kind of a problem. I don't think it's necessary, so we're going to deny the request. But let's take a look. It looks like one of our branch wraiths leveled, which is great. So whichever one ends up higher level is probably going to go into our second army when we're ready to field it. So we want to make sure that it has healing, because our second army is going to be led either by Durthu, or we can bring Drycha back. So we need healing because they don't have it. And it's now time to upgrade all of these guys. We can select all of them, aspects, and hit aspect of the oak for all of them. It's going to be 7,500, which is half our money, but it's well worth it. We're now going to use the deep roots to go to the Oak of Ages. Because remember, we're very safe in Griffinwood right now. And oh, that's a shame, there's a plague here. Oh boy. Well, that's a bummer. That doesn't always happen, but I think it's important to get started on the Oak of Ages early. We can safely auto-resolve this, actually. Here we go. It's turn 21. We have the Oak of Ages. And it's actually tier 2. I'm going to repair it, because I want to make sure I can get good growth in all my provinces. I'm just going to step outside the city a bit, just to make sure. That might help us not get the plague. If we get the plague, we have healing, so it's not the end of the world. We'll survive. But that's it. I guess your 21 turn guide to the Wargrove of Woe. So thanks for stopping by my video. I assume you know how YouTube works. You can subscribe if you want to see more. I will be leveling up my guys next turn, and we will continue the fight against Talzin. Goodbye!